A very good evening and welcome to World Now at 4. I am Peace Ogenegbawe. First, let's talk the headlines. On the headlines, President Buhari seeks anti-corruption court for Africa. Somalia President promises return of soldiers sent for training in Eritrea. On international scene, Biden is set to meet Crown Prince amid criticism. And on sport, Jabora honored after Wimbledon heroics. Now the news in detail. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari has called for the establishment of an international anti-corruption court to try offenders in Africa. President Buhari, who is also the African anti-corruption champion, urged African leaders to intensify the fight against corruption and create more disincentives for pilfering of public funds. He gave the advice in his recorded remarks to celebrate the African Day of Anti-Corruption. He praised African leaders for gains so far recorded, admonishing them that their efforts must be intensified to prosecute offenders and collect resources that had been stored in other countries. President Buhari advised that family and religious values will have to be upgraded and schools have a lot of work to do for a better society. Nigeria's president told African leaders that they must get rid of corruption in Africa if the continent is to realize its full potentials and have to ensure that national resources are not taken to safe havens around the world. He also said anti-corruption agencies must be empowered and allowed to deliver on their mandates and noted that the fight against corruption must be sustained for the benefit of the present and future generations. Away from there, the National Industrial Court on Friday ordered the National Assembly, that is NAS, the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission, that is RMAFC, Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, AGF, and National Judicial Commission, that is NJC, to review upward the judges' salaries. According to reports, the justice and judges currently earn about 3 million naira and below as their minimum monthly salaries. Justice Osatonhanwe Obaseki Osage gave the directive while delivering her judgment on a suit instituted via originating summon on May 4 by Chief Sebastian, a senior advocate of Nigeria, that is ASAN. The court held that by the combined interpretation of the provision of Section 4, subsection 1 and 2 of the 1999 Constitution as amended and the first schedule of 6, subsection 1B of the RMAFC Act 2004, that the first and second defendants did not have the power to neglect or by failing to perform their constitutional and statutory duties of reviewing judges' salary since 2008. Obaseki Osage further declared the act as unconstitutional and said that the current salaries of judges was embarrassingly too low given the present socio-economic realities and other factors such as the value of naira against the currency of some countries. Let's go to election matters. Ahead of the Osun governorship election on Saturday, the Deputy Inspector General of Police, that is DIG Kokumo, says his men will arrest those engaging in buying and selling of votes during the election. Johnson Kokumo, the DIG of Police in charge of Osun governorship election, said the police would leave no stone unturned to ensure that those involved in buying and selling votes were brought to book. Kokumo spoke at the end of the police interactive section with accredited election observer groups, NGOs, and the media, and appealed to the public to give the police credible information that will lead to the arrest of culprits.
Leave no stone unturned to ensure that those who are involved in buying and selling of votes are brought to book. We will stop at nothing to fish them out wherever they are, arrest them, and process them through the courts.
Kokuma also confirmed there would be no vehicular and human movement during the period of the state election on Saturday, as thousands of police officers and other security personnel have been stationed in strategic places ahead of the election. Osman Baba, Inspector General of Police, that is the IGP, said 21,000 officers had been deployed for the election. The IGP, who spoke in Oshogbo at the Independent National Electoral Commission, that is INEC stakeholders meeting, said the deployment was not to intimidate residents, but to prevent miscreants from hijacking or disrupting the election process. Nigerian troops of the multinational Joint Task Force have taken delivery of a large consignment of operational equipment and logistics donated by the African Union, that is the AU. The materials were said to have been handed over to the Commander Sector 3, Operation Harden Kai, MNJTF, Major General GM Muktuk of Malari Military Cantonment by the Force Commander, that is the FC, Multinational Joint Task Force, that is MNJTF, and vow to put the equipment into good use.
We understand to whom much is given, much is expected. With this array of equipment given to Sector 3 this afternoon, so we are not going to let you down. We are going to ensure this equipment are judiciously put to use. And we are going to do everything humanly possible to maintain them.
Multinational Joint Task Force Commander Major General Abdul Khalifa Ibrahim also commented while speaking with reporters.
The donation of this much-needed equipment was sequel to my visit to the African Union logistic base in Douala. I therefore urge the sector commander to ensure the equipment are well deployed, operationally utilized, and kept maintained and serviceable, while also spurring up the sector to continue to do more in its quest to curb the menace of terrorism within its area of responsibility.
The materials given included military trucks, water tankers, super mobile generators, anti-riot APCs, improvised explosives device equipment, tents, as well as information and office equipment. You're watching World Now at 4 on Hills TV. When the news returns, news from other parts of Africa. Welcome back. You're still watching World Now at 4 on Hills TV. Somalia's President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud says he would work to reunite soldiers who had gone missing since completing clandestine training in Eritrea with their parents, a day after wrapping up a 4-day visit to Asmara. This comes after almost a year of controversy over their possible deployment in secret to the war-torn Ethiopian region of Tigray. The announcement was made by the new head of state elected May 15 during a meeting with relatives of soldiers on Wednesday evening, the day after he returned from an official visit to Eritrea. During his visit, he visited training camps hosting Somali troops. He said his government was working on the safe return of these soldiers, but did not give timelines. He also did not mention their possible involvement in the war in Ethiopia. The issue of Somali soldiers in Eritrea was a topic of controversy and tension during the term of his predecessor, Mohammed Abdullahi Mohammed, also known as Farmajo. On several occasions in 2021, families of soldiers demonstrated to demand information on the fate of their military sons, of whom they had no news. In a June 2021 report, Welcome back from that break. South Africa's rising gun violence crimes has been attributed to the smuggling of high-caliber guns like AK-47s. The Global Initiative Against Transnational Organized Crime reports that there are about 3.8 million unregistered illegal firearms in circulation in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe. Findings also show that illicit guns and ammunition are a currency in the underworld of gangs, mass shootings, and wildlife crime. Gareth Newman, Institute for Security Studies, head of Justice and Violence Prevention Program, said it is difficult in South Africa to hire out high-caliber guns like AK-47s. On Sunday, unknown shooters opened fire at a tavern in Soweto, killing 16 people. South Africa's Minister of Police, Becky Cele, said the police are working towards clamping down on illegal acquired firearms. Meanwhile, advocacy group Gun Free South Africa believes that the solution to the country's gun violence is far-fetched.
What we generally suggest is, like you would go for a learner's license and a driver's license, we do the same thing for firearms. So you do your competency training, and then you go and you apply for your license.
We move to other parts of the world after this break. Just stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching World Now at 4 on Hills TV. The United States President Joe Biden will meet Palestinian leaders in the occupied West Bank today before he flies to a controversial summit in Saudi Arabia. According to reports, his meeting with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas was strained after ties hit a low under the Trump administration. It was also revealed that Biden will travel to Saudi Arabia to meet its de facto ruler, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. According to reports, 2 years ago, Biden had pledged to make Saudi Arabia a pariah over the 2018 murder in Turkey of Saudi dissident journalist Jamal Khashoggi by Saudi agents. Biden will meet both the prince and his father, King Salman. What U.S. intelligence and the Palestinians since the Palestinians froze ties in a dispute over the closure of the Washington office of the Palestinian Liberation Organization, that's the PLO, the main representative body of the Palestinians by the Trump administration into national security advisor said that he had helped plan attempted coups in foreign countries. Bolton made the remarks in the response to accusations that Trump pushed a multi-pronged effort to overturn the results of the 2020 U.S. election and a last-ditch and potentially illegal bid to remain in power. Asked about his allegation, the former Trump advisor suggested on Tuesday the 45th president was simply not competent enough to execute a carefully planned coup d'etat.
Tell you there's a lot going on beneath the surface. The opposition is in constant contact with large numbers of admirals and other.
Bolton served as Trump's national security advisor in 2019 when Venezuelan Guaido called on the country's military to oust President Nicolas Maduro.